friends. I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about how I cured my shopping addiction. So I've been on this journey now for a while. So I would say at least 6 months, if not a little bit longer, because I was a shopaholic. I used to go shopping when I was bored. I'd go shopping uh, just to entertain myself. I'd go shopping because I felt sad about something and I wanted to cheer myself up. And to be honest with you, it gave me a rush. My biggest thing is clothes. Oh, this would look good, or this would look, you know, nice, or, whatever, or I deserve something new. And when I had a closet full of clothes and shoes and purses and accessories, probably enough where I could dress for 6 months in a different outfit, just combining different things and not wear the same thing twice. So anyway, I had to put a lid on it because it was just out of hand. And I wasn't like that when I was younger. I don't know when this happened. Um, I tried to figure that out because, that's one of the things that you should really probably do if you do have a shopping addiction. Try and figure out why you're trying to fill a void with things. I think one of the things might have been um, when I lived with a former partner, we used his furniture and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. He had absolutely no taste. And it was just so opposite from the things that I liked. I started shopping for tchotchkes and accessories and those types of things just to cover up the ugly furniture. So I know that was one thing that started me on the habit. But another thing was when I was younger and I found myself on my own, a single mom with 3 kids. Now, my ex-husband's not a deadbeat or anything like that. We just parted ways, okay? And as a matter of fact, we're still very good friends. But I didn't make much money back then either. I mean, it was a pittance. And of course, you always have that worry in the back of your head. Am I going to be able to put food on the table? How am I going to survive on, you know, this amount of money with 3 kids? And, they were teenagers. And so you have all these things going on in your head. So you do without and you make do with what you have. And then that's that. So a little bit later down the road, I went to nursing school and finished my RN degree, and I got a better job, and then I got a better job, and still a better job. And the last 3 or 4 years of my nursing career before I retired, I made a fairly good amount of money. So I think coming from not having any money to all of a sudden having plenty of money, you kind of go a little bit crazy sometimes. So I think that's kind of what happened. But then I realized, you know, I wanted to retire. I didn't want to keep working, and so I started asking myself when I wanted something, how many hours do I have to work to pay for this thing? Is it worth having to work extra time or having the stress of needing to work because I bought this thing? Is it worth it or is it not worth it? So that was one of the main things I started asking myself. is my time worth the cost of this article? And, depending on your answer, sometimes it may be, and other times, no, it's not worth it. I don't want to work an extra, you know, um, 10 hours this week to pay for this article. So that was one thing that sort of started shifting my mind around not spending so much. So, but I've really been getting hardcore with it the last year or two because I have retired and my income is probably a good third of what it was when I worked. Now, when I did work, I did buy a lot of things that I thought I would need in retirement. And I said this not too long ago. I found that some of the things that I did buy, um, because of physical restraints now that I'm 69, some of the things I just can't do anymore that I did when I was a young woman. And when I was younger, I was very strong and I had a lot of energy. So, but I can't do that anymore. So I had to do something to change things and not be such an impulsive buyer. So the biggest thing that I have done to stop the impulse buying is just to stay out of the stores. I started the no spend month back in August. I was doing some of that probably since July, I would say, because I did spend money on gardening, flowers and things like that. And although I did cut way back from what I usually spend on that, I think I still spent too much. So next year, I'm going to cut back even further because first of all, it's too much work for me. I can't physically do it anymore. And sometimes it's hard for us to give up our younger years and to admit to ourselves when we can't physically do something anymore. So, and I'm at that stage. And so now when I go out and I do go to the store and I see something that I like, I ask myself, do I really want to dust this every week? Is this article worth my time, even if it only takes 5 minutes to clean it or less? Is this article worth 5 minutes of my life to maintain it? And if the answer is no, then it probably isn't a good purchase. But for me, the main thing that I have to do is I have to stay out of the stores. And that's just a given. So anyway, um, one of the things that Oh, as far as staying out of the stores, now I know it's not going to be something that I'm going to do forever. That's just unrealistic because we all need things. Even if we set up a system, we still need things that we are going to have to physically walk into a store. But lost my train of thought here. Oh, I would recommend that at least for a month, if not two would be better, you just don't go into a store at all. Because I've noticed what has happened with me is I'm to the point where I don't want to go into a store and go shopping. I really have to force myself now to get dressed and go out to the store. And that was not anything that I ever did. I wanted to go to the store. It was fun. But for me anymore, I've broken that habit and it's not fun anymore. I don't enjoy it. I do it because I have to, but not because I want to be entertained. I do other things at home. When I get the urge, I go look through my stuff that I do have, and I find something else to entertain myself with. So give it a try. What have you got to lose? You know, maybe it'll work for you. I know that it worked real well for me. So another thing that I'm working on now is setting up. Now I've talked about this before too. I started doing the online Walmart shopping, where you pick the groceries online and then you put them in your virtual cart and then you check out and you go pick up your groceries. So that's been working wonderful for me. I really like doing that. It saves me so much time. And going to less stores. I used to go to Aldi's, then I'd go to Walmart, then I'd go to Mark's, then I'd go to Dollar Tree. And this was usually a circuit that I did every week. So I don't do that anymore. And even if I buy something online, let's say at Walmart, and it costs me, the whole shopping list might cost me $10 more than if I had gone to all these stores. First of all, you save the money in gas, and secondly, you save the money from not buying impulse buys. So that's been working great for me. It just really has been working well for me. So now what I'm doing is I'm setting up a shopping list at Walmart. I'm going to start doing a shopping list on Amazon because you can get a lot of really good deals on Amazon too. And I'm going to do some of the auto ship for things like toilet paper. And if you use paper towels, you can do that. Or if you have uh, whatever. But what I'm doing is I'm clicking down on, you have a choice, they have a little drop down, and it'll say featured, and it'll be up in the corner. So the first thing that they show you are their featured items. But if you click on that and the drop down comes down, it will show you the least to the most expensive. And that's what I always pick. And then I look at the reviews of the product. Let's say it's toilet paper. How much am I spending per unit? And is this a good deal? And does it have good reviews? And then I go to the bad reviews first. And I look at those and then I make a choice of if this product would be good for me. So some of these things that you get all the time, again, like toilet paper, if you use paper towels, and I know a lot of you use cleaning rags, and that's even better. But do a little research and see maybe if the auto ship function might work well for you. And there again, even if it costs you maybe an additional $5, $10, I think that in the long run, it saves money because you're not buying that t-shirt or those tennis shoes or whatever else you see that puts the stars in your eyes and I've got to have that. So those are some of the things that have been working for me. Let me see, what else? Oh, before I do buy something, even if I do buy something online, um, then I always ask myself, where am I going to put this? Do I have a space in my home to put this thing, whatever it is? Do I have a space in my closet? Can I put this in my shoe bin or whatever? And if the answer is no, then I ask myself, well, is there something that I don't like anymore that I would like to give away or donate or whatever? And if it's yes, then, and I like this new article better than the old article, then I would consider buying it. If the answer is no, then you don't need it. So I don't need it. So anyway, that's a question I ask myself. Um, Make a shopping list of all the things that you buy all the time, like pasta. If you use elbow pasta or rotini pasta all the time, or if you use um, whatever you use. And keep a list of the things that you always buy, because we almost all buy the same things all the time. And wandering around in the grocery stores, whether it's Aldi's, which has wonderful prices. I love Aldi's. I do shop there. Some of the things I can't get anywhere else, but I limit the time that I spend in there. I don't go in there every week anymore. I go in there maybe once every month or once every 2 months. And one of the reasons I actually do like Aldi's is because they don't have all those choices that a big grocery store has, because I don't need all those things. They have the basic things that I need. So make a grocery list of the items that you buy all the time and stick with that. Now, if you eat meat or whatever it is you eat, or if you're vegetarian or vegan or whatever, it works anyway. If you want chicken this week, fine, get the chicken or whatever, vary those things. But your staples are pretty much always the same. So, and that cuts down on the impulse buys for products that are packaged and processed, because that's not really healthy for any of us. So stick to the basics. You can make almost anything if you have the basics in your pantry. So I'm going to be having an upcoming shopping that, because I'm running low in my pantry now. I've been cooking from my pantry for months now, trying to use up what I had. And that's a great thing. I didn't use up everything I have, but I'm going to be getting some. I still have a lot of things in my freezer that I'm going to use up, but I'm going to be getting some things like canned mushrooms and corn and tomatoes and things like that. So, and I'll get enough for, several months, and it'll be enough of a variety that I can mix and match and make different recipes out of. Okay, last but not least, um, consider either keeping a notebook, or get yourself a little box or something. And whenever you have something that you want to purchase, write down that article and the cost of that article. And don't buy it right away, but put the note in the box or wherever it is, or in the notebook, and wait a week before you buy it at all. And if there's 4 or 5 things that you're thinking about buying, do the same thing with those. Write the article, write the cost of it, and put it all in the box. You can do it for a week, you can do it for a month, whatever you're comfortable with. Excuse me. And at the end of the time that you've decided on, take out all your little notes and add up the cost of what it would have cost you and how much you've actually saved by not buying those things. So if you do that, you might be surprised how much money you've saved and have not spent. And then you can take that amount of money and put it into a fund that you've set up for whatever, excuse me, whatever is of interest to you. whether it's a vacation fund or a Christmas fund. Maybe it's a wardrobe fund. You know, okay, I'm going to allow myself $200 or $500, whatever your cost is for new clothes, and then don't spend any more than that. But that will also cut down on impulse buys. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to share with you some of the things that have been working for me. And maybe some of these things will work for you too. But that's all I wanted to share for tonight. And I want to tell you that I love you guys and wish you abundant blessings. And hopefully, if you're on a financial voyage, some of these tips will help in you saving money. All right, my friends, I'll see you next time.